quick disclaimer at the start. I'm putting weeks 4 and 5 in the same video here because I wasn't able to record week 5 the same way that I normally do. I'll explain more later on. I don't want to ramble too much here at the start. There'll be timestamps below to differentiate between the two, but yeah, for now, let's just hop right into week 4. Alright, it's time for BGL week 4. Based on what I could gather from the chat, it seems like this round, it sounds like there's 2 free ones and 3 impossible ones, so we'll see how this goes. Sounds like it's going to be a hard seed. Let's go. I mean, this is just Southeast, right? Yeah, I mean, you know, like Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina. I'll probably put it in Georgia at that point. I could see it potentially being North Carolina. It's going to be in that general region, though. And I don't really... Are there any other clues here, really? To where I could potentially narrow this down any further than that? We can't really see any back plates, can we? No, just no front plate, no front plate. Which, I mean, obviously, we know that. It's the Southeast. Yeah, backplates are too far away. I can't really tell. I guess I'll just rip this in Georgia, then, to kind of hedge with that general area. Sure, where I've got it right now. Why not? North Carolina? Makes enough sense. Only 2.5k on that one, but, like, I can't be upset about that. There were no clues. All I could really tell was that it was Southeast, and that was it. So, you know what? That's fine. It's whatever. Next round. Texas? Question mark? Yep, this screams Texas. Presumably Dallas-Fort Worth. Presumably. Rockwall. And I saw something else that said Rockwall. I assume Rockwall is the name of the town. Is there a suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth called Rockwall? If there is, I'm not seeing it. Okay, this has to be Dallas-Fort Worth, right? It has to be. Let me get real quick, take a quick peek. See if there's a Rockwall around Houston. Nothing immediately jumping out. I don't want to waste too much time looking at other suburbs. I think my best bet is to try to look for it around Dallas-Fort Worth still, because I think that's going to be where it is. It has to be. This just screams Dallas-Fort Worth to me. It has to be. Rockwall. 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 Sub 20 seconds. I don't like this. I'm not finding a Rockwall. Am I blind? Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. Rockwall. Where was it? There's an Olive Garden. Come on, please. Is that a 5K? Yes, that was a 5K! Oh, I saw the Olive Garden at the last second. Oh, that was huge. At the last second, as I was zooming out, I saw Rockwall. How many points did that gain me? Because otherwise I would have put it in, like, right in between Dallas and Fort Worth. That probably saved me, like, 300-ish points. That was huge. Sweet. All right. So I assume that was one of the 2 free rounds that people were talking about. All right. Round 3. Cracker Barrel. That means Southeast. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but that's just, you know. This doesn't really scream Southeast to me. Can we see license plates? There's no front plate there. That looks like a front plate there, though. No front plate. Yeah, I think we have to assume no front plate. This doesn't scream Southeast to me. Maybe I'll put it in Atlanta anyway. But no, this feels more like... Maybe I should put it more like Tennessee, Kentucky. Yeah, no, this does not feel like Southeast. But we know there's no front plates. Like, should it Nashville, maybe? I feel like I never spawned in Tennessee in GeoGuessr. Is there anything else that I can really... Are there any other clues here, really? That kind of looks like a Texas plate, but it doesn't really feel like Texas to me. Yeah, and we've seen plenty of cars that have no front plates. We don't really have a clear line of sight on any back plates from this distance, I feel like. Yeah, I mean, no front plates. I'm not feeling good about this one. Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, hell, even Kansas. I'm going to keep it in Nashville. Okay. Yeah, it just didn't really feel like the Southeast to me. Like, I had my marker in Atlanta at first. I'm not too upset about the fact that I moved it because it just did not feel right. And I mean 3.2 is fine. I mean that was a tough one in general. Like all we really had to work with was no front plates and vibes, and that was kind of it. So you know what? That's whatever. Fine. 3.2. All right. Next round. Hello Utah. Oh, Layton. That's exactly where I put my marker, isn't it? Gordon Avenue and 225 East. Can I find? Oh, there's Gordon Avenue. That's convenient. And 250, 2550 East. Can I find 2550 East? Should theoretically be like. Oh, cool. Right? We're looking to the east, so we're gonna be like right here, right? Right? Not crazy, right? Just gonna triple check because I've got plenty of time. Triple check. Layton, Gordon Avenue, 2550 East, right there. Sweet, another 5K. Awesome. All right, cool. Round 5. All right. Yellow license plate there. I mean, that's just New York then, right? Beaver Street. How fitting. Municipal park rules. That doesn't help me. Well, I mean, we saw the one plate that's New York. Do I want to go with Long Island? Or do I want to go with, like, upstate New York, Albany, Syracuse, Utica, steamed hams, etc. So we see a few license plates. We only really had the clear line of sight on one. I mean, is there anything else that I can really work with? Do I go with Long Island or do I go with upstate New York? Like Albany, Syracuse, Rochester? This... I feel like there's more Google Maps coverage on Long Island than there are the other places. So theoretically, we have a higher chance of being on Long Island, right? In theory. And yeah, I'm just not really seeing any other clues I can really work with to potentially narrow it down. I'm gonna bank on it being Long Island. Damn it! It was all right. Yeah, Rochester, Buffalo, that general area. That one was a little bit upsetting, but it seems like nobody else really got it either. So, well, I mean, there are people in the general region at least, but yeah, that one was whatever. So what's my final score? 18.5? Really? I feel like I did better than that. Yeah, I mean, all things considered, I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know how I was supposed to guess number one. Number one, it was just like Southeast in general. Southeast roulette. Put it in your favorite Southeast state and hope for the best. Number 3 was just no front plate roulette. It just didn't really feel like that far southeast to me. I was thinking about putting it further north, so like I'm totally fine with the Nashville guess. And number 5, it was like all we really had to work with was a New York plate. At that point, it's like there's only so much you can really do for that one. I just did not see any other real clues. I guess that one might have just been like a skill issue. You know what? Cope. Those are skill issues, let's be honest. So right now, I rank 8th out of 17 so far. Okay, not bad. But we'll have to wait until next week to see the actual results. And with the magic of editing, a week has passed. Let's see how everyone else did. So I ended up getting 15th place out of 30. So once again, I am right smack dab in the middle. Round 1. North Carolina. Right, yeah, this was Southeast Roulette. There weren't like any clues to work with on this one. It was just like pick your favorite Southeast state and hope for the best. So how many people actually got North Carolina? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 30. Okay. So yeah, we had 10 people go North Carolina, 3 go South Carolina, 8 go Georgia, 3 go Alabama. Yeah, like it really was just Southeast Roulette. Round 2, Texas. Basically everyone getting Dallas-Fort Worth. And how many people getting Rockwall specifically? 1, 2, 3, plus all these 5Ks. How many 5Ks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people like right there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I assume those are all 5Ks. 15 of 30 people 5K'd that. That's kind of funny. Round 3. Well, this could make a fun screenshot. Okay, I hate that like all my thumbnail shots are like the exact same thing, but I mean like... So how many people actually got the Atlanta area? 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. I mean, it makes sense. There weren't really like any clues to work with. It's just like no front plate. Sort of felt southeast-ish. Not really. So this distribution of guesses makes a lot of sense. Round 4. Utah. So yeah, like basically everyone getting like this region of Utah. How many people 5K'd this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, wow, once again, 15 people getting a 5K. And round 5. This was New York, wasn't it? Let's see how many people went Long Island with me. If I can zoom out. If I can actually... Can this load, please? Okay, Maybe that was a skill issue. Only 3 other people going Long Island with me. Most people guessing upstate. How many people guessed Rochester/Buffalo, that area, correctly? Looks like 3 over there, plus another 5 here. Yeah. I mean, there weren't a ton of clues with that one, aside from, like, New York plate, so... Makes enough sense that most of the guesses would be, like, distributed throughout the state. I love how there's, like, 2 columns of yellow with this, because, like, so many people got 5Ks on those 2 rounds. You know, I guess it's kind of fitting that the Denver team is having a Colorado Rockies-esque season. Even though there's 2 Colorado teams in this, but we don't have to acknowledge that. Like how with San Diego, literally every single person on that team got a 5K on rounds 2 and 4, and they still lost. But yeah, so another L for Mile High Express. Get them next year, etc. But yeah, so like the East Conference has 3 teams right now that are 3-1: Pittsburgh, Wisconsin, and Bloomington. And I believe, is it Wisconsin and Bloomington that are playing each other this week? No, it's Pittsburgh and Bloomington that are playing each other this week. So the winner of Pittsburgh versus Bloomington is guaranteed to be moving on to the playoffs. Then it's a matter of what happens with Wisconsin. Yeah, where things stand right now, it's probably going to be Pittsburgh, Wisconsin. Those would probably be like the favorites at this point out of the East. Out of the West, Colorado's already a lock. And then it's either San Diego or Sacramento. But, okay, San Diego and Sacramento play each other this week. Not only would Sacramento have to win, but they'd also have to win by like over 6,000 points. So they're still alive, but right now San Diego's the favorite for the 2 seed in the West. All right, and here's the Week 5 results. It's time to explain why I'm doing this separately. Yeah, so TLDR, I'm probably going to need to get a new computer soon, which is probably long overdue anyway. But yeah, so I noticed a couple weeks ago. Fortunately, it was after I did the Week 4 challenge. But yeah, so a couple weeks ago, all of a sudden, I started to have a bunch of computer problems, including the fact that if I try to record my GeoGuessr gameplay, it's so laggy to the point where the game is just like borderline unplayable. And at that point, like if the game is like so laggy to the point where it actually hinders my play, then that's probably not smart to actually record. What I was able to do instead, I was able to record my face cam and audio at least, and I'll upload that separately as an unlisted video, just like, you know, stay above suspicion. I don't think anyone suspects me of cheating, but you know, I'm at least like talking through my thought process and stuff. I'll leave it unedited as well, just to like, for full transparency. But yeah, that's unlisted because like it's not entertaining. I don't expect anyone to actually like watch it. But yeah, so fortunately this was the last week of the season, and hopefully these issues will be solved by next season. But yeah, so let's get right into this. So I finished 10th out of 31 this week in Week 5. We're going to say 9 out of 30, actually, because number 2 here, well, for one, the dude's not in the league anymore. And 2, yeah, you know, strong suspicion of cheating. Once again, an amazing game where, like, all of his guesses are, like, consistently, like, right on point, pretty much. Yeah, so we're going to say I finished 9th out of 30. So let's get right into this. Round 1, if this loads. So for round 1, it was Connecticut. So we spawned in, and in fact, let me just open this up. So we spawned in, and it does pretty clearly look like northeast. And the only real clue for being able to pinpoint, the only real clue to really say what state it is specifically is this car right here, this license plate in the distance. It's kind of hard to tell, but it does appear there's like a little bit of blue at the top of the plate, which would imply Connecticut. Now, obviously, it is a little bit in the distance, so I was a little bit hesitant to like put it in Connecticut with confidence. I feel like when you spawn in the Northeast, more often than not, it ends up being Massachusetts. So like I did consider putting it in Massachusetts, or like maybe like between the border of the 2 states. Ultimately, I decided like we have that one clue to work with. It looks like a Connecticut plate. I should just put it in Connecticut and hope for the best. And it was indeed Connecticut, but it was just like, you know, in the corner where nobody really got like particularly close, which is kind of funny. So yeah, that was a good guess. Round 2. This one was a bit confusing because, well, right off the bat, when you spawned in, it certainly looked like Southern California. But the telephone poles didn't have the little 3 yellow bars on them. And I seem to recall the license plates also being a little bit misleading. But ultimately, what got me to put it in the Los Angeles area was palm trees to the east. They were noticeably tall. In fact, wait, let me just click on this. Scroll in. Scroll in. Click on the thing. Yes, there was a car there that didn't have a front plate, and a car there that did have a front plate. The license plates just felt like most similar to California, but the thing that really made me feel confident about going with Los Angeles was like these palm trees in the distance over here. They're like noticeably tall, because that just seems to be like a common theme in the Los Angeles area in GeoGuessr. But yeah, so a lot of people getting the Los Angeles area, and of course we had some other guesses scattered around, you know, Las Vegas and Phoenix. Makes enough sense since like there was no front plate on that one car. Round 3. What even was this one? Oh, I guess this was just like Southeast roulette. Yeah, there was a street sign, but that was kind of it. But yeah, so like my mentality with putting it between Alabama and Georgia was like, it didn't really scream Georgia to me, but again, it just felt like Southeast roulette. You know, oftentimes in those kinds of situations, it's just best to just put it in the big city, like put it in Atlanta and call it good, because there's a decent chance it's in the general area. But it just felt a little bit too middle of nowhere for me to want to put it in Atlanta specifically. And I was like, could be Alabama, could be Georgia. I'll just put it right in between the 2 states. And you know, at the end of the day, it was still a good guess. But you know, yeah, Southeast roulette does Southeast roulette things. Round 4. Okay, this one I thought was a little bit interesting. So it was Flagstaff, Arizona. I can't believe how many people got Flagstaff. So when we spawned in, it looked like this. Like, you immediately see mountains to the north, which I think a few people put it in Utah for that reason, since, you know, prominent mountains, which logical enough. But yeah, so I mean, the main clue was the fact that, you know, a handful of cars with no front plate, and you can clearly see purple in the bottom left corner of that plate with a little bit of like, it's Arizona license plates, but I think there was also better angles of that. Yeah, you can see, especially on this pickup truck right here, clear as day, Arizona license plates, yeah, these two cars right here. So my mind, when I see Arizona, defaults to Phoenix. I can't believe how many people got Flagstaff correct. Like, that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people getting Flagstaff. And there are a few, like, in the general area there, but only 2 of us going Phoenix. Like, that is mind-blowing to me. Like, when I first saw all the people going Flagstaff, I had to look at this again and be like, were there any other clues that I just didn't see? Or do that many people just, like, recognize those specific mountains? Yeah, like, I'm not upset about it or anything. I'm just, like, a little bit confused as to how everybody seemed to know that except for me and one other person. But I mean, it was still, like, a relatively good score for me there. And number 5, yeah, this was Atlanta again. So the main clue for this one was this car right here. This license plate. Sometimes I do get Georgia and South Carolina plates confused, but with that shade of orange, that's a Georgia plate. And I did realize that in the, well, obviously, yeah, no shit. And of course, when you see a Georgia plate and, like, you know, a neighborhood like this, Atlanta's probably, like, a pretty safe guess. So yeah, a bunch of us going Atlanta on this one. As for the week 5 results, well, first off, hashtag not last. And second off, so Pittsburgh beat Bloomington. This was an important matchup for the playoffs. The winner was the lock to move on, because Wisconsin, Pittsburgh, and Bloomington were all 3-1 entering this week, and they were all fighting for 2 playoff spots. So Pittsburgh won; they locked up a playoff spot. Bloomington would have needed to outscore Wisconsin by, I believe, like 9,000 or so. Wisconsin did kind of crash and burn this week. Bloomington didn't score enough themselves for them to win the points tiebreaker. So of those 3, it's going to be Pittsburgh and Wisconsin moving on to the playoffs. And also, Pittsburgh scored a combined 70,000 this week. That is the most on the season for one team in a week. The previous record was week 3? No, it was definitely not week 3. Was it week? No, it was not week 4. It was week 2. It was Colorado in week 2. Week 2 was a very high scoring week, actually, just looking at it. Barring the teams that didn't have a player play. But, you know. And as for the Western Conference, San Diego versus Sacramento, this was also an important game for the playoffs. Sacramento would have needed to beat San Diego and also outscore them by a decent margin. And, well, that is exactly what happened. Yeah, so after starting off 0-3, Sacramento made the playoffs anyway, squeaking out over San Diego by about 3,000 points in total. So yeah, round 1 of the playoffs is going to go Pittsburgh versus Wisconsin and Colorado versus Sacramento. And here's what the final numbers look like for the individual totals. I decided to sort it by total score, not average, since, number 25 here probably cheated. Okay, there's a strong reason to think that he was cheating, because, like, every single one of his guesses was super close. It was uncanny, to the point where it's like, no human can really have that level of consistency without, like, cheating. We don't have definitive proof that he cheated. It is strongly suspected. I don't want to officially label him as such, since it is not definitive. And yeah, also he was kicked from the league after week 4. He participated in week 5, and that was kind of like the final straw, where it was like, okay, every single one of your guesses is like right on point again. But yeah, so probably cheated. So yeah, we're sorting by total instead of average. But if we did want to sort by average, just for funsies, it would look like that. But I'm just going to casually click the undo button. And yeah, cool. These are like this is the final overall standings for every single individual score. But yeah, so I guess that's a wrap for me for this season. I'm not going to, like, make some sort of playoff video, since, like, my team's not participating in the playoffs anyway. Like, some sort of update video for the playoffs is, like, do people really care? Plus, it's not really my job to do that, I feel like, but, you know. Also, I'm just lazy. But yeah, with that, I will see you all next season, assuming my computer problems are solved by then.